Okay, now for the 16mm part, we'll open virtual dub again and go to the menu to find the file we want. Here's my 16mm folder. Can't see anything at the moment yet because we've got to go to all types and we've got to go to M2TS editing as well, and the one I want, I think, is that one. So we'll pull that up and just have a quick look. Scrub along here. Okay, that will certainly do. So the usual situation, we've got to get rid of the black bars, etc. So we need to add our filters. We'll transform first and the cropping. And once again we have to go to the second monitor in order to get rid of the black bars. That will do nicely. So you notice the 16mm frame is actually much cleaner than the Super 8 one, and that's just, I guess, just a case of the condition of the film rather than anything else. So we can get away with not cropping quite as much off it. We still have the issue of the aspect ratio, and we still want it to look nice, so got a bit of a slant there. Okay, and we'll just pull this along a bit more and see what else happens. It's looking quite good, I think. So we'll click on OK and use the same trial and error we did before. This time we need a different ratio because we're going to do it in high definition. So we're going to go, we want 1440 by 1080 effectively, which is the 4:3 ratio. We're going to size it to that. At the moment we've got slightly less in terms of the width. We've got 1402 and we've got a height of 983. So the quick calculation there, put my calculator away, will probably tell me that the aspect ratio is off. 1402 divided by 983, and that indeed is giving me 1.42, so it's too wide. So we're going to have to go back to the cropping screen and pull it in a bit further. So we'll do that like that and like that. Click on OK down at the bottom, and now we've got 1372 divided by 983, 1.395. Actually, let's do this right. We've got, it's the width we want to change, so I'm going to enter into my calculator 983, which is the height which we're maintaining. We'll multiply that by 1.33, and that gives me a width of 1307. So I'm going to have to pull the width down even further. It's 1372, so 1372 currently minus 1307 gives me a difference of 65. We're going to have to halve that top and bottom of the screen, left and right of the screen rather, which means I want to pull it in 32 pixels each side. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll take the X1 offset, and 32 and 372 is 404. 404 we'll enter into that, and on the right hand side 176 and forgot what I said now, 32 wasn't it, 178, 200 and 208. Okay, we'll just pull this along. There we go. So that should be the correct aspect ratio. We'll double check, but unless I made a silly mistake. Clicking on OK. So we've got 1308 divided by 983 equals 1.33. Perfect. Perfecto. So the next thing we need to do, as before, is add our resize doofer, resize filter. and this now has to go to 1440 by 1080, which is a 1.3 aspect in high definition. I'm going to change the filtering to Lank ZOS 3, which is a more sophisticated filter for enlarging things. We're not enlarging this by very much, mind, but anyway. So that's it. We'll click on OK and OK again, and I'll just resize these, which I forgot to do, and we'll pull the scrubber along and hopefully you can see the result there. So that's it. So save as usual, and we'll call this Malawi again. It is. We'll call it Malawi 3 in a different folder, but anyway, and save it as an audio video interleave AVI file as before. So there we go. And I think this is a shorter clip, but we're looking at around about 9 minutes. Okay, done once more. That was a Telecine mess, that, I think, the film. Can't remember what happened. I had to redo that part, I think. Obviously the film's looped down in front of the lens somehow. We'll cut that bit out, and it was redone anyway, so. And that's the lot. So that finishes virtual dub. So we'll close that. Okay, we'll bring up the Vegas movie studio again. New project, and this time we want stereo as before, AVC HD, Advanced Video Codec High Definition, and 1440 by 1080 50i, because that's 1.33 aspect ratio in high def, and the 50i of course is 50 frames per second interfaced, which is what AVC HD does. Okay, we can now drag across our AVI file, all 40 megabytes of it, and you might notice something a bit weird here. We seem to have a widescreen ratio there. Let's just have a look at this. We don't want surround. We'll get rid of the audio. Let's go down here. That's nothing there. Okay, so if we look at this, it's been stretched, and that's probably, since the 1440 by 1080 is correct, that is almost certainly a question of the pixel aspect ratio. So if we right click on the timeline, here we have pixel aspect ratio 1.33. we want that to be square. Notice it's square, not 1.09, because unlike 720 by 576 for PAL, which is 1.25, and the pixels therefore need to be stretched slightly, this is 1440 by 1080, and that's exactly 1.33. So we need square pixels, and there we go. It's squared up. Okay, so we'll render it. Render as, we're going to pick main concept MPEG 2. We'll call it Malawi 3. And we're going to select as a template the Blu-ray 1440 by 1080 50i from down here. That's the one we want, and we'll click off the project markers and go to custom and just make sure things are right. 1440 by 1080, that can stay. At defaults, advanced video, that's good too. I think we'll go to audio and make sure that include audio stream is unchecked, system and project. It's got pixel aspect ratio 1.00 there. Just want to make sure we've got 4:3. Here we go. Aspect ratio 4:3 display. So make sure that is set there as well as the pixel aspect ratio being set to 1.0. So that should be okay. Audio's off again. Click on OK. This is an M2V file, which is a high resolution video only file. There's no audio. So we can save and let that render over a period of some minutes. We'll just wait to see if it's coming up at 4:3, and indeed it is. And that's it, rendering complete. We'll close that and get rid of that, and then the file produced is Malawi3 M2V, this one here rather. These files here are just additional info files. You can kill them off. So there we go, Malawi3 M2V 340k down from 40 megabytes. How about that? Double click on that and we'll get the VLC player again and in the correct aspect ratio. Voila! Enjoy! So that's it for this part 5 of the video. I'll put up some of the finished the finished product in part 6, hopefully properly edited and with some soundtrack as it will be done. I guess that might be a little while before I've got round to finishing that off. So thanks for watching again, and look forward to seeing you in part 6.